Yeah-da-da-da-da. 2 days after Valentine's Day in Ukraine, 2 U.S. senators met Zelensky with hopeful message on sanctions on Russia during their visit to Kyiv. Pair of Democratic senators made the case for Congress to impose harsh penalties on Moscow for its continuing offensive. Senator Whitehouse of Rhode Island went, making the case for a long-stalled sanctions bill with Blumenthal of Connecticut. Sanctions that could cripple Russia's main economic engine as its war against Ukraine drags into a 5th year. Both expressed during their visit fresh confidence that the legislation, which has languished on Capitol Hill as Trump has resisted, congressional action on the matter could finally move forward, not yet clearly embraced by Trump. If Trump did that, would allow the legislation to advance in Congress. A tour of a children's hospital, and under Russian onslaught, a power plant damage followed after meeting President Zelensky. Blumenthal that what he saw underscored the need for harsh new economic penalties on Russia. There was something very tactile, not right, and immediate about the suffering and hardship of going without heat, without light, without light, without electricity, which means without water and food. He said in an interview, the suffering here is palpable. The meetings took place as the officials withdrew to Geneva, where trilateral talks among the United States, Russia, and Ukraine to resolve the conflict are set to take place this week, while lawmakers in Kyiv remain to press for sustained American support for Ukraine. The Trump White House has instead concentrated its pressure on Kyiv, demanding land concessions, particularly looking ahead at the eastern region known as the Donbass, and urgent new elections take place rapidly as the administration pushes to bring an end to the war. Mr. Blumenthal said avidly that he was hopeful that stalled legislation he introduced nearly a year ago now to impose sanctions on countries that buy Russian oil, gas, and uranium would soon plow ahead. Their measure quickly drew support from 85 senators, more than enough to both pass and override a presidential veto, but it has languished because of tough resistance from Trump, who has signaled he wants to maintain the power to impose or cancel Russian sanctions himself, not leave it up to Congress. Blumenthal hopes and was promised a floor vote on the measure as soon as we have the vote. Having the Russian sanctions vote soon as a Blumenthal shared hope. Zelensky on Saturday in Munich was met with a bipartisan U.S. group that was larger. Afterward, the spokesman said that the sanctions legislation will be a game changer. You should be proud of your country. You should be proud to be Ukrainian, because you are fighting for freedom, holding back tears. Blumenthal told them, you are heroes. For Mr. White House, who has made multiple visits to Ukraine before, and after the invasion, the scenes reinforce the stakes of a conflict that has settled scores into a grinding war of attrition. A wrecked power plant and returned kidnapped children are a live testament to Russian brutality. We owe the Ukrainians what they need to win.